All right, we are going to can ground hamburger today. First, you're going to start off with washing your jars in sudsy water, really good. I also put my jars in the dishwasher under sterilization. You're going to wash your rings and you're going to wash your lids in soapy water. I soak my lids in warm water until I get ready to use them. You're going to need a jar lifter. You're going to need a canning jar funnel, some distilled vinegar, a clean cloth, and clean countertops. Wash your hands. This whole process has got to be done under very clean conditions. All right, now I am going to take my jars and put a little water in each one and put them into my just steaming water. To get my jars hot. I'm going to loosely put my lid on. Okay, I have put my hamburger, which I have a total of a little over 8 pounds because I am doing 8 pint jars, and each pint will hold about a pound. So I put my hamburger in a pot with water, and I am going to boil it. Now there are other ways that you can do this. You can cook your hamburger up. You can fry it. You will have to drain the grease off of it. You can add it to tomato juice. You can add it to broth. And now that my hamburger is cooked, I'm going to rinse it because we want the grease out of it. All right, something I did forget to mention is you will need something to put down into the jars to pop the bubbles. And you will also need some good salt to add to your jars. I am going to do my jars one at a time. I have taken one jar out of my hot canner, and I am going to add the hamburger to the jars. To fill them with a 1-inch headspace. And it's okay if you have chunks of hamburger in there about the size of a meatball. Okay, once I have filled the jar, I am going to add hot water to the jar. Then I am going to remove the bubbles. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and this is a half of a teaspoon measuring. Then I am going to take my distilled vinegar and I am going to wipe around the top of my canning jar. I'm going to add my lid and my ring. And then I am going to add it to my canner. Now I'm going to repeat this process till all my jars are full. All right, now our canner is on medium high. We are going to put our lid on without the weight. And once we get a good stream of steam coming out of our vent, we're going to time it 10 minutes, and then we will put our weight on. This is so that you get all the pressure out and your jars get a good tight seal. So now our 10 minutes is up, and we are going to add our 10 pounds and jiggler onto this. The reason that we let the steam out is so that we create a tight vacuum and our jars seal better. Now we are going to wait until the jiggler starts to jiggle, and we want it to jiggle an even jiggle, and it will process for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now that my timer has gone off and my jars have processed the full amount of time that they need to process, I will leave the jiggler on my canner until the pressure comes down. Removing the lid and leaving the cans in the canner allows the jars to adjust to a cooler temperature. All right, now my jars are out of my canner, and I'm going to leave them sit overnight to cool down. Do not touch your jars. Do not mess with them at all. Tomorrow, when they're cooled down, you can take a damp cloth and you can wipe them clean, because you don't want to put nothing dirty in your pantry. There will be like grease on the outside of the jar and stuff. If your rings seem to be loose, do not mess with them. Leave them alone, because this could damage the seal. Tomorrow, when they're cooled down, they don't even need the rings on them. You can take all of the rings off of your jars and store them in your pantry like that. Also, I want to add that you'll notice that some of your hamburger might be above the liquid in your jars. That's okay. And it might even turn a little bit darker in color. That's okay too. It does not make it not safe to eat. You will check your jar lids to make sure that they have sealed. You can tell because they have a concurved indentation. And if they haven't sealed, they will pop up and down. And of course, if they haven't sealed, you don't want to use them. You can store them in the refrigerator and use them up to 24 hours after you've put them in the refrigerator.